Playwright released a new feature called Playwright CLI.
Wow.
It's similar to Playwright MCP, but if you're using coding agents, that is the best fit. And I will explain why. I will also show how you can use it to automate your browser, to write Playwright tests using Playwright CLI and GitHub Copilot, and a few more tricks. In case you're new here, let me first introduce myself. My name is Lucas Smith. I'm an AI first asset at one of the fastest growing companies in North America, and nowadays I'm also part of the Codemify team, where we help people like you to become a tech professional from scratch or to level up your existing skills. And before we dive in, don't forget to hit that big fat thumb up button below to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss useful tutorials like this one or that one right there. And now, let's get started. Why do we need Playwright CLI? Traditional AI-driven test automation often rely on MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol. And while MCP provides rich browser interaction, it also introduces a critical limitation. With MCP, every interaction typically returns full accessibility trees, tool schemas, page metadata, and console logs. And while it's extremely rich, all this data overwhelms the AI context window and reduces the space for deeper reasoning and more code generation, for example. Modern coding agents operate under strict token limits, so Microsoft introduced a CLI approach to solve this problem. Instead of dumping the full page state, the CLI returns compact references that represent each element on the page. So what happens under the hood when it's executed? The CLI captures a page snapshot. The elements on the page are assigned specific elements like E21 or E26, for example, and only these small elements are passed on to the agent. So instead of sending a full DOM or accessibility tree, the agent receives a small deterministic map of each actionable element on the page, which makes it much more efficient. It may sound complex, but it's quite simple. So let's see a practical example of it. I have a new project created here. You can see that it's quite empty. I just installed Playwright because I want to run the test. So we just see the example spec here, node modules, and a GitHub folder. The first thing we have to do, let's go to the Playwright CLI repo. And here, if you read the README, it has all the information about how it works and how to install and everything. So first here you see a Playwright CLI versus Playwright MCP explanation, so what the differences between them. So that's exactly what I was explaining in the introduction of this video, saying that it's token efficient because it does not force the page data into the LLM. How to install it? So you have to copy npm install -g playwright/CLI latest. And you come to VS Code and you just paste and run this command. I already ran it, so I'm not gonna run it again. So I can delete this. And now if I go to my Copilot chat, first let's run this command on the terminal real quick. Because this will basically give us a list of everything that the CLI can do, how to use it, the core functionalities that it has, everything that MCP can do, it also can do basically. And now you can install the skills from the Playwright CLI. So you have to run this command, Playwright CLI install -- skills. You can run it directly into the coding agent and then it will run for you. You can run directly in the terminal. And I also already ran this command. And that's why when we go to the GitHub folder here, you see this skills folder with Playwright CLI in it. When you run this command, it will show this by default as cloud.cloud skills Playwright CLI. But it doesn't matter, you can just update it to GitHub or whatever coding agent you are using. So in my case, I'm using GitHub Copilot, so I just updated it to .github. All right, and then when we see the references, you have all the references of the actions that it can perform. So request mocking, running code, session management, managing cookies, local storage, session storage, generating tests. So this is pretty interesting. So for us, we're gonna generate some Playwright tests so we can see how it works, the example workflow, how to build a test file, so all the patterns that we use in Playwright, some best practices, explore before recording, very interesting. So we'll see it in action, so I'm not gonna explain this now. And then in assertions, also the tracing, so we can capture the execution traces for debugging and analysis. and we can also record videos. That's pretty nice. All right, and here inside Playwright CLI we have the skills file, which basically explains how all the skills that this agent needs to operate. So it gives all the quick start, how it will execute. So opening the browser, going to a page. Yeah, so this is an example, right? The commands that you can use, everything, all the details that the Playwright CLI will use to perform actions for us is described inside this skill.md. And then whenever we ask Playwright CLI to perform an action, it will automatically trigger the skill and use the correct function or tool as described here. Let's see a practical example of this. So the first thing I'm gonna do here, we have this Codemify demo website, so I'm gonna copy the URL. I want to navigate there. Navigate to using to the URL, right? Using Playwright CLI. So you're gonna see what you do now. So it says automatically you use the Playwright CLI. So Playwright CLI open command. It's already open in headed mode. That's interesting because I didn't even ask for it, but because sometimes it opens in headless mode, and it says that it opens the browser, but you don't see it. But now it is already automatically open in headed mode, which is cool. By the way, if you would like to learn Playwright and its AI agents with a team of professionals, get an internship in a US startup, and go through more than 80 rounds of interview preparation, you can book a one-on-one consultation following the link right below this video. Alright, done. The browser has opened and navigated. Okay, the page is titled e-commerce demo and a snapshot has been saved. So this is what I wanted to show you. So this is the command that it ran to open the page so you can see it. And if you check this, execute the Playwright CLI command and open the browser successfully. Okay, let me close this. And if we open this now, we're gonna see Playwright CLI folder here, and you're gonna see this page snapshot. So this is a pretty simple page, right? So it took a snapshot, and then here you see that each element on the page, like the heading, for example, has a reference. Remember that I said that it would have a small reference to each element. So this is the reference that I was talking about. So these references will be passed into the agent when executing actions, but all the rest is not. So let's go further with this. So let's say explore the website and identify the most critical user workflow, and then generate a Playwright test for it. So I'm not gonna even say what is the critical workflow. You can say that it didn't even log in yet. It's still on the login page. Oops, here. So I'm not gonna say what this website is about. I want the agent to fully explore it on its own, understand what is the critical workflow, and then generate a Playwright test for us. So you can see Playwright CLI snapshot. So that's the first thing it will do. Whenever it logs in, it takes a snapshot and then it understands the page structure and all the elements. And then based on that, he goes further and it starts playing with the page. So here we can see that, let's do something here. Let's increase the size of the chat with the agent, and let's do this. Then we can see the actions here. So now we will see that it will fill the username with standard user. So let's allow this. All right, now it will fill the password, and then it will click login. All right, cool. So it logged in. That's perfect. You see that each action that it's doing, it's actioning on the references from the elements that came from the page snapshot. So if we go back to the page snapshot now, you'll see that it has a much bigger document. So in the case of Playwright MCP, imagine that all of this context would be filled into the agent and would be consuming space from the context window of the LLM. So in the case of the CLI, only the references are passed in. That's why it's much more token efficient than the traditional MCP server. I'm going to allow all Playwright CLI actions in this session to make this faster, and I'm going to speed up this video, and then at the end I'll show you the results. Okay, so it finished exploring the page and it said, perfect, I've completely explored the website. The most critical user workflow for this e-commerce demo is the complete purchase journey. So login, browser products, add items to cart, checkout, order confirmation. Now let me create a comprehensive Playwright test that automates this end-to-end workflow. Okay, excellent. I've created a comprehensive Playwright test suite that covers this critical e-commerce workflow. All right, this is the test file. I know Playwright, you probably know Playwright too, so this looks like a pretty decent Playwright test. So e-commerce critical user workflow should complete full purchase journey from login to order confirmation. So
page go to, navigate to the website, verify the login page loaded, login with valid credentials.
And also generated other tests like should handle logged out user scenario. That's interesting because we have this logged out user that should not be able to log in, so it also added a test for that. Very interesting. And also should allow user to remove items from cart. That's important. And should allow user to adjust item quantity in the cart. So that's pretty awesome. So it generated 4 tests for the critical user workflows. And now what it wants to do is to run this test to ensure that they work. So let's allow this. We can see the command directly here inside the agent, and it will open the browsers and trigger the actions. So okay, the tests have failed. Let's see why. So now it will analyze the results of the test. Okay, it wants to quit. Okay, allow. Let me read the test output to see if there were any failures. Okay, so it's trying to understand what happened in the run. There are some selector issues that need fixing. So it's actually verifying that the test didn't pass and already fixing them automatically. That's pretty cool. I completely forgot to tell about the sponsor of this video, and it's you. Make sure to smash the like button below, to subscribe to our channel, and to join our Telegram and Instagram communities where we share many more updates than we do here. The links are in the description below. Alright, so it fixed them, and now it wants to run the tests again after I can see the test and see what it did. Okay, now 3 passed and 1 failed, so good progress there. Alright, so it updated again, and then it will see that the fix worked. So it's running only that 1 test that had failed now after the fix. Okay, the file has the correct code. Now let me run all the tests again to verify that all tests pass. Alright, excellent. All tests are now passing. Let me provide you with a summary of what I found and created. So it provided us a summary of the tests. Let's see what it did. Probably some selectors have changed because probably it didn't provide correct selectors before, but the structure looks still the same as we had seen before. Nothing weird. Yeah, seems like there's nothing that should not be written this way, so all the patterns are very good. We can also, if we want, we can also run the test from here using the Playwright extension. It will trigger the run automatically for us, and we can see the results here. Okay, so we see the test pass. Very nice. All right, so that's awesome. So using the CLI, we could explore the page, and it automatically generated a Playwright test for us and ran the test. Notice that it was not passing, fixed the selectors, and then ran them again until they passed. And now the tests are looking great. But is that all that we can do with Playwright CLI? Absolutely not. We can do more stuff. Let me show you a quick more things that we can do with it. Let's ask the agent what else Playwright CLI can do. So core interactions, fill forms, mouse actions, dialogues, JavaScript, navigation and control, multi-tab management, storage and authentication, network control, debugging and testing, and session management. The network control is pretty interesting, so we can mock and block requests, can route and unroute, and monitor network activity. Let's navigate to, let's say, codemify.com. Let me open the website. Let's say AI courses. I want you to click here and click on AI engineering. So click on AI courses and then click on AI engineering. And then mock the API calls that happen when clicking on AI engineering. All right, let's see if it does what we want. Perfect, task completed successfully. Here's what we did. Summary, so it navigated where we asked it to do. It captured the network activity. It identified what are the API calls being made. So here are the main ones. It set up the mocking and verified that the mocks are working. It reloaded the page and confirmed that all the mocked endpoints are responding with our custom response instead of hitting the real APIs. That's very interesting for testing purposes. Let's change the mocks to block the access to the page and then verify that the user cannot access the AI engineering page. So let's, for example, try to change the mocking now to create like an error state and see if it works, if we could use it for testing. Let's say that we want to verify that the user cannot access this page, for example. All right, perfect. And then it goes to the AI engineering page and has the access deny error. That's pretty cool. I don't want to wait it to finish. We could also do, let's say, okay, now let's remove the mocks and navigate to the AI engineering page again, and then generate a trace for me. I want to generate a full trace of the action that it takes until getting to the AI engineering page. All right, cool. It's giving me the command to run and open the trace. Let me close this browser. I don't want to have it open anymore. So I'm going to allow this, but I already saw an error here. You see, there's an error. I know that the Playwright trace files must be a zip. So, okay, it thinks that it opened the trace correctly. Let's say the trace must be a zip. Must be a bug here. I didn't understand that it could not open the trace file. All right, there we go. So this trace, the only thing is that I should have started a new conversation with Copilot so that it would go from scratch, navigate to codemify.com, click the buttons and go here, because it's just giving me the navigate to the AI engineering page. But the purpose that I wanted to show is that we can generate a full trace using the Playwright CLI as well. And then with this trace, what we can do, if you already work with Playwright, you know that you can see, you can pick up locators from here. You can see the calls that are made, the logs, errors, console, all the network calls that are made. Oh, that's what happened. So we went directly from the error page to the success page. You just reloaded it after removing the mocks. That's why we don't see the other actions. But anyway, you can go and see the interaction over each second. If you want, you can expand this. So the Playwright trace is pretty rich. And you can do all of this using the Playwright CLI inside your coding agent. Even if you're not using Copilot and you're using Cloud Code or Cursor, it works the same way. That is really amazing. Playwright CLI gives you the ability to do a lot of interesting stuff in the browser. This is just a quick example, but there's much more you can do. So go play with it and see how much you can achieve using Playwright CLI. It's pretty cool. And if you have already used it and have any questions or maybe anything cool that you did and want to share, just drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.